What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while since my last upload, and I've been talking about consistently trying to put up content, and and I think I have been, but yeah, I've been just kind of taking some personal time off because my cousin from Louisiana came to visit us, and so he's gonna be here for the next 2 weeks. So I've been, prioritizing some of my time to really, hang out with him, to talk to him, to get to, spend quality time with family. I think many of us, when we have family members that we don't see often, we like to prioritize time to catch up, to bond, all that good stuff. That's just what you're supposed to do when family come visit, especially when you don't see them often, right? And so I've been kind of prioritizing my time doing that, and I know I haven't been putting up content, but I'm always writing down ideas of things to talk about, and I'm always learning these new things, whether that's through the books I'm reading, whether that's through our Tuesday night Bible study group. We call the group BRB, which is Bible Reading Brothers, or Brother Reading Bible. I don't know how our friend named it, but because he's the one who bring it together, who coordinated together. But I call it the DMT because our initial, DMT. That sounds cool. And yeah, so guys, can you guys believe it? We're already in the month of August. It is August 1st right now that I'm recording, 10:45, which it is a Friday, and I don't know why I think it's a Friday. I don't for some reason in my mind I think it's a Saturday night, so I think tomorrow I have church to attend, but for some reason it's a Friday, so which is cool. And I don't know, I'm excited. First of all, I just want to I don't know. I just want to say I'm thankful for all you guys watching my video, my content. I know some of you guys are subscribing because you're friends of mine, and I know some of you guys don't watch it. The friends that do subscribe to my channel, but for those of you who are who found my channel organically and are into the things I talk about, I'm really thankful. Really, I'm really thankful that you were brought here, and I hope that you continue to find value through my content and my channel. And yeah, guys, we just crossed the 100 subscriber mark, and I know that it's not a big number, but hey, to me it is. It's those monumental milestones that I need to appreciate, I need to be thankful of, and to know that, like, I obviously can't do it on my own. It's you guys, and most importantly, it's God. It's God who made this possible, who made it to give me a voice, to give me a platform for me to talk about these things and share my journey with Christ, and some of those experiences and perspectives I get to talk about, which just I love it. I love talking about it, and so I hope you guys here for the long ride. And yeah, guys, it's already month of August, and we have about 4 more months until 2025 is officially over. So I can't wait. I honestly, I felt like I've only started this channel about last month. Well, I think the month of June is when I became a lot more consistent, when I was getting over the fear of putting stuff out, because I think before I would put up stuff, but I would get very self-conscious. I think most of us, when we do things, we're always too cognizant of what people think of us. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, even though like I put out a lot of videos, there are still moments of like these old triggers that kind of that tries to grab you back into those older mental settings. But I think that's when you need to just kind of push forward and know that it's okay. It's okay to experience that. That's what it means to be human, we're not robots, right? Obviously we have feelings and whatnot, but yeah, guys, yeah, I kind of want to talk about that. Well, the original this topic of this video is supposed to be called God's will, but um, just right now, I just realized that we're already in the month of August, and my birthday is about to come up, and I'm about to be 31, guys. 31 years around this earth, and it really doesn't feel like I'm 31. To be honest, it feels like I am a wiser version of me in my mid 20s. And if I had to say, I feel like I'm in my mid to beginning of my late 20s. I would say 27, 28. Um, but age is aging, and I'm sure other people might feel the same way, despite feeling old. And I know a lot of people, when I spoke to them, they don't really feel like their age. I don't know, it's one of those phenomenons that you experience as you get older, right? And so, yeah, I kind of want to talk about, I guess, how it feels to be 30, turning 31. Yeah, I feel like, what's interesting, I feel like I'm still growing very much as a person. I'm still, exposing myself to new things and putting myself in like somewhat uncomfortable situations. That's not to say that like things don't scare me, guys. I am still scared of many things, but at the same time, maybe other people who are older can relate, but it's the feeling that yes, you feel scared, but the scare doesn't overwhelm you to the fact that you are not willing to move towards it, or a better way to word it is being scared but still going to do it, right? Whether that's, for me, that's like being myself, asking people out, talking to strangers. Sometimes I notice that talking to strangers is easy when I want to talk to strangers, when I have the social battery to, but sometimes for me it's just kind of tough to force that out when I am just low on my social battery. I typically spend a good amount of time by myself, but with that said, spending too much time by myself also drives me crazy. So I like to, go out to the park, go out to a place to get my blanket, get my book, get my read on, get my studies on, whatever public exposure I can get. I like to do it, and yeah, I'm not too afraid to start conversations, but only if I feel like having them. But sometimes when I spend too much time doing that, my social battery gets strained and I become a little grumpy. And when I become a little grumpy, it's like I don't really know what to ask because I don't have the juice enough to kind of ask questions. And for me, I tend to ask a lot of deep questions, and that's just who I am. And so, man, yeah, turning 31, it's a wild ride, guys. A lot of my peers are married and they have kids, and I feel like I'm just barely getting started. I think in my 20s I was way too stunt to try anything, and I mean I did try stuff, but like not things that really challenges me, not the things that I really that not the thing not the change not the things that like I really want to do, right? I don't know, I think in my 20s I was just kind of afraid to try hard, and I'm sure like you'll hear people, oh, so and so's a try hard. So I think a lot of those times that really held me back from trying hard. And also when you're 20s, you're really trying to figure out who you are as a person, right? And then you're going through all these experiences and you're finding out like you like this, you don't really like this, and then you're like, oh, maybe I'm this type of person. But a lot of people say that like as you get older you change a lot less, and that's a yes and no. I think that as you get older you really find out who you really are as a person, right? And that, I think that really matters when you're getting older, to find who your authentic self really are, because I feel like when you're authentic yourself, you attract a lot of people. At the same time, you also you also set up this tone in conversations when you're being authentic that it allows other people to be authentic. I noticed that within my cell that I was in, one of the guy that brought me to church, the church I'm attending now, his name is Jay, and he's a very he's a very wise guy. He's always sharing really deep about the things he go through, and I noticed that when someone, whoever goes first, shares deeply about issues that's going on and struggling, or some of those past issues, right, it really sets up the tone for the rest of the group. And I'm not sure if I told them this enough, but we all need somebody like that within a group environment, because it sets up the tone for other people to say, oh, this guy's being vulnerable, and the reactions that he's gotten, that is that safe, and that's my cue to say, it's also okay to be vulnerable. And so, I've noticed these things that I just pick up these small things whenever, like, in groups and stuff. Especially, I'm sure we've been in groups where people are kind of on their guard, and people are afraid to kind of talk beyond just the service level. Oh, how long you been go to church? Stuff like that. And I get it. It's tough, but it takes that extra oomph for you to kind of break the ice, because trust me, everybody wants to talk about deeper things, or at least what I think, right? And I could be generalizing. You could be the person out there who's not wanting to be vulnerable, and that's completely okay. But like I said, I gravitate towards people who wants to have depth conversation at a certain depth, right? Because that's how I feel like I connect, right? I feel like to make an impression on somebody, or how I make an impression, is that I want to get to know somebody beyond just like what they do. I want to get to know their why, right? Why are they the way they are, right? Why do they choose this? Why do they do this? It's like by asking questions, I get to understand them, and that's what I want to get to do, understand somebody, right? And and I really don't know where I'm going with this conversation. Maybe it's just something that I just gotta talk it out, because I haven't made a video such a long time. And so, yeah, what was I gonna say? I really don't know. How professional am I, right? And yeah. Okay, yeah. So we're talking about authenticity and stuff, right? I noticed that people who are safe with themselves, those are the people that are able to be authentic. Because if you think about it, right, if you're constantly thinking about how you are being perceived, how your authentic self is being perceived, and you have things that you're not proud of, like qualities of yourself you're not proud of, you're gonna have these walls up. You're gonna feel like you're being judged. And oftentimes when we think that we ourselves are being judged, is a reflection of how we often make judgments on other people. I noticed that because in my 20s I was very much that type of person. I was judging people very hard. People who are certain ways, who shows like core qualities of themselves are. And but I always wonder, how come like people are always so accepting, people are always so free around these people? It's because that's it, because they are not afraid to show the qualities they are about themselves, whether they think it's ugly, whether they think it's good, bad. It's like being able to show that it displays a sense of confidence and courage about themselves. And I think I've probably brushed over this concept, right? It's and I'm sure we heard that a lot. It's charisma. Charisma is, I don't know how the internet defines it, but how I define it, charisma is your ability to attract somebody based on being your authentic self. And that means charisma can't be copied. It's your own thing, right? Like my charisma is not the same as like, who's a charisma guy? Ryan Gosling's charisma, right? If I ended up trying to copy Ryan Gosling's charisma, it would look like I am a Timu Ryan Gosling, or you know what I mean, and it would make sense because it would just come off awkward, and your personality um won't match with the rest of it, right? Because if you think about it, if you're copying a part of Ryan Gosling's personality or his charisma, and then like and when you're copying something, you don't understand the core of it, right? Where his charisma come from. But when you're being complete yourself and you say these bad jokes that you think is funny, that are corny, that are lame, and but sometimes you'll get laugh here and there, and that's the people who will mess with you, man, who will stick with you, and who is your type of humor. And I think that so many times I think that people are afraid. People are afraid because they are not safe in themselves because they're judging themselves too harshly on themselves and how they're being perceived. That sometimes they're just living in their mind, and they kind of like they're acting. They say stuff that are very robotic, or they engage robotically, right? Or they don't feel safe or whatever, right? And um, that really that really stops you from connecting with other people, especially when I think on social media nowadays. I think I reference social media a lot because I feel like I'm on social media a lot. I think we're all on social media a lot, right? I think especially the modern dating shows, it's a weirdly it's a really realistic version of representation of how our society acts. It's like everyone's like um some people are rejecting other people, so we don't give the opportunity for them to reject us, which is really weird. It's like we're living on this world where we're building our walls, but also at the same time we're craving this deep connection, to want to connect, to want to get to know each other, and we have all these like insecurities, walls that are kind of piling up, and people are guarding rather than connecting, and it's tough and it sucks, um, and oftentimes it's out of our control. It's just that people are jaded from their experiences, and they're afraid that like the next person who's gonna try to connect with them is gonna open those wounds up, and you're at that point you're kind of like justifying your behavior by your past pain, which really you know really stops you from really living in the present, to really getting to know somebody when you have all those things in your head. And yeah, and I don't really know what this episode is really gonna be about, to be honest. So far I've been just kind of rambling about turning 31. I've been talking about authenticity, charisma, being yourself, and and I also talked about people who are safe with themselves are often the ones who are able to be charismatic, who are able to open up, who are able to share deep about themselves. And yeah, um, I hope this all makes sense. I mean, it is 11 o'clock now. I've been yapping for about 20 minutes, and who knows? I'm not sure if anybody's gonna watch all 20 minutes of it, but guys, I appreciate the support. Appreciate the where we passed the 100 subscriber mark, and I'm happy, and yeah, I really can't wait to see what Scott's gonna do with this channel, and through me. Really, I don't think I would have the confidence to do what I'm doing now if I didn't if I didn't walk out in faith, because yeah, I think so many times we just tether on to what we know about our life, and when we do that, we kind of pass on the calling, the opportunity that God puts it in our heart, because we oftentimes want to question and ask, if we do this, God, how am I going to provide for myself, right? How am I going to live, and so on. And yeah, and I want to say I also felt that way when I quit my job as a substitute teacher. I was like, wow, what a dumb thing that I'm going to be doing. Like, everybody around me, my mom, everybody was like, you should keep working at your substitute job, and quit the job when you have something built up through YouTube, when they're paying you on YouTube. But it's like, I don't know. I think that by quitting, I'm saying, yes, God, I trust in you that you will provide for me. I trust in you that this is your calling for me, and I trust you that that's the desire you put in my heart. And so far it has. He really hasn't told me to stop. He even says keep going, really, on days where I feel real rough, on days where I feel discouraged, on days where I'm not seeing any growth, on days where I'm not seeing any views. And I think that's the challenge of really believing in faith, in God, and to walk by faith, right? Not by sight, because sight is the result, sight is the expectation. But walking by faith is different, right? Walking by faith is that, yes, even though that this video might not get a lot of attention, that behind everything, God is still working on making things happen. And I don't know, right? It's tough to try to wrap my head around God or try to understand God, and that's why God is so great, because he does things that are beyond us, that there's no way mortal humans like me can understand God. And I think I'm thankful for that, that he's the way he is. And yeah, guys, I know that I was supposed to talk about a topic, but I just kind of decided I think it was kind of good to kind of talk through this. Yeah, turning 31, so I'm excited. And yeah, as always, guys, I hope you have a blessed day. And yeah, and when things are hard, I think we should just learn to just go to God, because he cares about you. No matter how big, no matter how small the problem is, he's there. And then oftentimes I think it's when we don't feel him is when he's the closest to us. And I know sometimes these things are hard to grasp, but he cares, really. But yeah, I feel like I'm rambling way too much, guys. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Hope you have a good rest of your day, whenever and wherever you're watching. And yeah, if you like this type of content, please hit the subscribe button. Leave me a like, and if you have something organic that comes up in your mind when you watch my video, feel free to comment down below. I read all of them, really. I mean, I reply to all of them, but I read all of them. And as always, I will include a video that YouTube thinks that you will like right around here. As always, see you in the next video. Peace. Mwah.